right, good morning, Keller Williams, Greater Metropolitan, and welcome to our weekly sales meeting. Sorry, my door was open and I was going to be really even more disruptive than usual to Sean Hadley and the team at Cross Country across the hall. But good morning, everyone, and welcome to our weekly sales meeting for Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan. Excited to have everyone with us for a really outstanding meeting today, where we're going to have a conversation with some of the executive leadership for the Cleveland Realtist organization. And if you're saying, hey, I don't know what a Realtist is, I don't know what the Cleveland Realtist Association is, wonderful. You are in the right spot, and we are going to be diving into that in just a few. But as we typically do, we're going to kick off with a couple of pieces of information and conversation as it relates to mindset. So the first thing that I want to start with this week, and actually for those of you who are participating in Bold and loving it, you heard this conversation either last week or 2 weeks ago regarding the 6 personal perspectives, and really making sure that these are something that are a consistent part of conversation for our company. So the 6 personal perspectives were created by Gary Keller and really identified throughout the process of him creating the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, where he interviewed hundreds and hundreds of the most successful real estate agents across the country, and then identified these 6 personal perspectives. What were the things that when they went internal, when they thought deeply about what their next steps were or what they needed to do to reach a new level, he found that these 6 things were common in the mindset of those millionaire real estate agents. So over the course of the next several weeks, we're going to explore these one by one. And the first one is to commit to self-mastery. Committing to self-mastery. So we talk a lot about, and you'll hear the term mastery a lot in our industry and in our organization. But when it comes to self-mastery, there's a fairly significant or substantial difference in mastery of a craft or a skill and of self-mastery. So if anyone wants to be so bold as to pop into the chat box or unmute yourself and just say, hey, what does self-mastery mean? What do you hear or what do you start thinking when you hear the word self-mastery? What does that mean? All right. Well, we have apparently not had our coffee this morning, and that's okay. I guess it is a little early for a tough question that even the ancient Greeks struggled to answer quite well. Sean Hadley says that it's about discipline. It's about mastering your habits. Oh, I was just a little bit delayed while you all were getting to their keyboards. Always working to be better, holding oneself accountable. All of these are correct. All of these are tremendous and very important components of self-mastery. And I think the key here is that the height of our professional success is always going to be capped by our personal success and our personal growth, right? So if we are not in control of ourselves, we can't be in control of any particular situation. If we haven't mastered ourselves, we won't be able to master negotiation, because we will always fall prey to our emotions, irrational behavior, or those momentary lacks of self-control. So self-mastery is the first of 6 personal perspectives, and one that, as we set out to set goals for the day, the week, the month, the year, the next 5 years, what are we doing to reinforce and recommit to self-mastery along the way? And then, as always, Quick touch on our belief systems. The Y4C2Ts are the belief system for Keller Williams, Greater Metropolitan, and Keller Williams Realty International. And so today I want to highlight one that was added within just the last couple of years, and that is the second to the last. Between trust and success is equity, and that is opportunities for all. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later today as we remind everyone about some of the things that we have going on here at Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan with our Black Realtor Network, as well as getting a lot of information about what's going on throughout Cleveland, throughout Ohio, and throughout the United States with the Realtist Association. So very happy to have that as a part of our belief system and to represent it here as a part of our company. All right, guys, in case you missed it and you missed last week's meeting or some of the emails from Julia and myself and others, we are hiring. We have a couple of open positions for our leadership team. One is for the Assistant Market Center Administrator, as Carrie Mitchell has moved into the role of the Director of Agent Services and Experiences. And then also for the Rocky River office, the role of receptionist. So we're looking for a bright, warm, smiling face to be there to greet our agents and guests on a daily basis. So if you know anybody, and for those of you who have provided referrals, I see several people on this call who have, really appreciate that. Our business is not too dissimilar from your business, and you know how impactful and powerful referrals can be, and so do we. So we are very grateful to everybody who has referred someone for either of those roles, and look forward to growing our leadership team to better support all of you as agents. So if you can believe it, we are halfway through February. And we have still a stacked training calendar remaining. So let's go ahead and dive into what's going on there. Well, yesterday we hit our second component for our February tech series as we sorted through how to be your own follow-up boss. That'll be going up on YouTube shortly. I might be partial, but I think that it was an absolute barn burner. And was definitely worth the time invested to identify some simple low-tech systems to drive your follow-up, and then some ways to leverage command to do it. In 2 weeks, on the 28th, we're going to be diving into how to use trend graphics. So that is the tool that you where you see all the fancy graphs, and here's the last 15 years of real estate trends in a certain zip code. We're going to teach you how to use that so that when you go into a conversation with a buyer or seller, you are most well equipped. And then on Thursday of this week, we have 2 hours of elective continuing education credits available via Zoom. So tough to make it any easier for you than this, guys. Brand yourself like a rock star. So this will be a conversation on how to leverage social media, how to play the algorithm in your favor to get the attention of your audience and the support of everyone who follows you. So that is Thursday, February 17th at 10 a.m. The Money Matters Mastermind is Friday. Guys, the timing of this could not be better. Much like every other year in the history of the United States, taxes will be due in just a couple months. And for those of you who are in your early stages of your real estate career, or for those of you who have just never been too good at maximizing the opportunities that being a 1099 independent contractor affords you from a tax standpoint, our guy, Bobby Bodner with Breadify, is going to be coming in via Zoom to talk about tax strategies specific for real estate agents as you prepare your 2021 taxes. It was the biggest year in the history of real estate for many of you on this call. If you are planning on just blindly giving 30+% of that to the government, be at this session. There is a massive opportunity for you to protect the wealth that you've earned by simply bookkeeping what you spent to get it and maximizing your tax write-off. So that's what Bobby's going to be covering with us this Friday at 11 a.m. And then our last heavy hitter for the month is going to be around reducing property taxes and gaining leads. Now, that is going to be led by none other than Mr. Eric Akbar, who is, he's been working overtime as the productivity coach and as a trainer for us. Early odds-on favorite for the Dixie Tuesland Educator of the Year Award based on how January and February shook out. But Eric, if you could unmute yourself and let us know what exactly are we getting into with this session, because it sounds a little complex, but I doubt it is.
Sure. Well, a couple of things that we're actually trying to accomplish on this. If you got last November, if you lived in Cuyahoga, we were in a triennium year, which meant that we are readjusting property taxes. Now, it was a percentage change, and we'll go into the details, but the reality is this. One of the biggest challenges I get from agents is they tell me, they go, Eric, I would love to make calls, but I've already called everyone I know. There's no one else I know. If I call them again, I feel like I'm just going to be, repeating what I said before. Do you know how to buy, sell, or do you know of anybody looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? So I tell them we have to find excuses. And I promise you, there are always great excuses. The next question I have for them is, when they are lead generating, do you feel like you don't want to make the call because you feel like you're almost taking $1 from them, or taking $10 or $20, you're asking for something? Where if you were calling them and telling them that you would give them $10, $20, $100, would you be okay with it? We mentioned this last time when we talked about coaching during our Tuesday meeting. The reality is this time, this may be an opportunity that you can actually literally give them a check. My best example of this was I got somebody a check for $7,000+ back because of his taxes. And it was a pretty exciting thing. And that was a $500,000 home. Do you think that, one, he gave me the listing, and number two, do you think he negotiated my commission? Yes, he did give me the listing, and absolutely not did he negotiate my commission. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. This is something that we can do for our database. We can't personally do these things, but we can show them the opportunity. We'll be talking about that specifically. So if you want to pay less in taxes, just like the last one, if you don't want to be giving your money up to the government, we're going to be talking about how we can possibly do this, depending on what the parameters of your sale was, how long ago it was, if we could get an appraisal. We'll go through all the details. I've done this probably 100 to 150 times now, so I can predict exactly how they're going to respond if you have the right forms in front of you, which is contrary to common belief of what forms we should be giving. So that's what we got.
I love that. So if you're looking to grow your database, you're looking to hit your bold contact goal, or if you're looking to provide unprecedented value to your database, this is a great session to be at.
Exactly.
Love it. Love it. Guys, seats are limited. Just a reminder, if you're signing up for one of these on Eventbrite, be there. If you take a seat, you are taking it from somebody else who could want it. If you are not going to be able to make it and you've signed up, please let us know. And we will be more than happy to find a replacement. All right, guys. And then last call for family reunion. It starts on Saturday, or I guess Friday night. And the opportunity to be a part of this will exist all the way up until it begins virtually. And if you're interested in just hopping a last minute flight to get away from the white stuff on the ground here in Northeast Ohio, you can also do that. But the opportunity to plug into the single largest real estate event in the world this coming weekend is still there at your fingertips. We have dozens of agents from this market center who have signed up to take advantage of the opportunity to be involved in family reunion, to be a part of the virtual breakout sessions, to take advantage of the opportunity to network and mastermind digitally and in person. And so if that is of any interest to you, please pop on to the Family Reunion website, grab your ticket. For those of you who are in MAPS coaching, any level of mastery coaching, your ticket is included. So, don't be penny wise and pound foolish. You've already paid for it. But be there or be square. It is going to be an amazing, amazing event. And then finally, if you are like Alonzo Hudson, who just logged on to this chat and just signed his paperwork to join the company on Friday, and you're like, man, those sound like really good trainings you guys had earlier this month. Where could I ever go to get those back? Look no further than our YouTube channel. It is chock full of every training that we have done for the last 24 months, 23 months, really, because we got into it in a big way right around the middle of March in 2020. For whatever reason, we really started to lean into that virtual component. And so take advantage of that. Any subject matter, any piece of your real estate business, it is very likely that there has been a training on that from one of our top agents to help you better understand how to make it a cornerstone for your business. All right, time for partner updates. Going first to our friends at Cross Country Mortgage. Good morning, Sean. How's life in the fast lane?
Oh, it's a mile a minute here. Love it. Thanks. Topic today, recasting. I spoke of this a couple of months ago, and I've been really impressed with how many agents have kind of taken this and kind of run with it, inserted in their language when you've got a scenario where a buyer is looking to sell and buy. Not too far back, just a few years back, you had somebody kind of worried about, what if I buy and can't sell and I'm stuck with 2 mortgages? Now the reverse is more the concern. What if I sell and I don't have a place to go? So talking real quick about what recasting is. Let's say that I own a house, and when I sell that house, I'm gonna have $100,000 in my pocket. And I'd love to put that down on the $200,000 house I'm buying, but my house hasn't sold yet. So what I might do is say, I'm gonna go buy that $200,000 house, 5% down. So that's $10,000 I need to buy the house. Now I own my new house and my old house, and I have my, again, $190,000 mortgage on the new house. Now I sell my house and I have $100,000 in my pocket. What I can do is call Cross Country customer service and say, hey, I'd like to recast my loan for $350. They'll take my $100,000. They'll apply it towards my mortgage balance. My mortgage balance now drops to $90,000, and the payment is reamortized. And now my payment is going to be lower for the next 30 years. If I had PMI, the PMI, depending on what threshold we're at, can go away. But it's a great tool in lieu of a bridge loan and having to kind of work them on multiple mortgages. It's kind of a get me in the house and then modify it after the fact. So a great tool, and something to be aware of. But Don, you out there?
Yeah, and to add to that, it just doesn't have to be after you sell your home. You could be a year into this loan, and if you have, I think, what's our minimum, Sean? $5,000 or 10 grand?
$10,000.
10,000. If you have 10, 15, $20,000 you want to add to that loan, you can also recast at that point as well. So it isn't just within the first 3 months of the loan itself.
I think that's all we got, Mike.
All right, excellent, guys. Well, thank you for that. There's a great opportunity there in leveraging the mechanics and what's offered across country to make sure that your buyers can buy or that they become sellers who can sell. So thank you for that, gentlemen. Over to Jade Tishka with Greater Metropolitan Title and Escrow.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to quickly remind you guys that GM Title is now using a 1 point of contact system, which means if you guys have any transactions going on with us, you only have to remember 1 phone number, 1 name, and 1 email address, which we find makes everything much easier. So again, if you guys need any updates, have any questions on your transaction, I will throw that email address in the chat. And of course, Tiffany and I are here to answer any questions after hours and on weekends.
Love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for your availability and for helping us streamline communications to and fro Greater Metropolitan Title and Escrow. And then I'm not sure if Jess was on this morning. It appears not. So we are going to keep on moving forward. And I am going to spotlight Miss Monique Winston. There you are. Good morning, Monique. How are you?
Well, good morning, and how are you?
Oh my gosh, if I was any better, it'd be illegal.
Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty good, Michael. You're feeling pretty good this morning. It must be warm outside.
You know what? It's warm inside this Zoom. We're surrounded by a bunch of wonderful real estate agents and joined by a tremendous guest such as yourself. So not much more I can ask for this morning, Monique.
Oh my God, listen to all that charm. Well, thank you so much, Michael. And first of all, let me thank you for the invitation. We really appreciate it. So hello, everyone. As Michael mentioned, my name is Monique Winston, and I do have with us on the Zoom as well, Deborah Bonner. Deborah is our current president of the Cleveland Realtist Association. I am the immediate past president and current chairman for the Cleveland Realtors. And so we really thank you for, there's Deborah. We really thank you for allowing us to talk to you today. So I'm gonna kind of work from the topics and speaking points that your leader sent over to me. And one of the things I want to start with just saying, again, my name is Monique Winston. I am actually not an agent or broker. I am in the title industry, but I have been a part of the Cleveland Realtist for about 10 years since relocating to Cleveland, and a part of the organization for even longer. And one of the things I just wanted to talk about really quickly is the history of the organization, because surprisingly, there are a lot of people who may not be familiar with the Realtist and often wonder, why are they saying Realtor, or are they saying Realtist, and what does that mean? So if you hear the term Realtist, that simply means that we are a part of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, also known as NAREB. So we were founded way back in 1947. And really, when we were founded, there were two focal points. So there was equal opportunity and there was civil rights advocacy. So on the equal opportunity side, I don't know how many of you realize this, but back in 1947, African Americans were not permitted to be a part of NAR. So that's where the equal opportunity comes into play. Now, again, when you think about that, couple that with just from a career standpoint, the career opportunities that were available were also not open. So whether you were talking agents and brokers or, mortgage professionals, there were really a lot of restrictions, both outright and subliminal, that really impacted African Americans back in 1947 when we were founded. So it was founded in Tampa, Florida by 12 individuals. I'm sorry, there was 11 men, and there's always one woman standing in the picture somewhere that founded. And I would like to add that this year we will celebrate our 75th anniversary. So it's a really monumental year for us. Now, one of the questions that I get all the time, well, there are two questions, transparently, that I get all the time. And the first one is, well, do you have to be Black to join the Realtors? Absolutely not, right? Teamwork makes the dream work, right? And I always say we are better together. And there are so many things, and Deborah Bonner will talk about that the Realtors and the Realtors NAR do in collaboration. So you definitely do not have to be Black to join the Realtors, and we invite you to join. We always say our motto is democracy in housing. And if you are about that, then you should definitely join us. The other question that I get all the time, and these kind of go hand in hand, well, Monique, this is not 1947. And African Americans are allowed to be a part of NAR now, and there is no discrimination in housing. So one, I always say, things change and they don't change, or they change the way they look. So there are always issues that we have to address as an organization and along with other organizations. Now, clearly there are issues that come up that are paramount to all real estate professionals. I'll give you an example. We just came out of COVID, right? So I don't care if you're blue, black, green, or red. When real estate became an essential business, that was all of our business, right? So there are things that we work on collaboratively because it impacts all of us and it's for the greater good. Now, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't say there are things that are of particular interest to the African-American community. You all probably hear all the time about the rate of home ownership for African Americans. And as a demographic, Blacks are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to the rate of home ownership. So of course, as an organization, that is an issue for us that we are always trying to figure out what are the barriers, what can we do to change that demographic. When we look at the gap between Black home ownership and white home ownership, the gap between those demographics is greater than it was when we started in 1947. So of course, there are issues that we are particularly focused on that are particular to African Americans. But again, this is about democracy in housing. So we always want everyone to join in these initiatives. So with that said, I would like to turn it over to our current president, Ms. Deborah Bonner, who can talk to you about some of the things she has planned for this year and some of the things that you can gain by being a member.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Monique. And I just want to thank Keller Williams, Greater Metropolitan, for allowing us to come and speak with you this morning. I see quite a few of our members who are in attendance. Hello, everybody. And a lot of people that I've worked with in the past. So it's good to see a lot of people that I know. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the Greater Cleveland Realtist Association and a little bit about me as well. I started in real estate in 2007. That's when I got licensed. And I've been a realtist since 2007 because of the brokerage where I was working was a brokerage who was a member of the Cleveland Realtist Association, the Ohio Realtist Association, and the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. So understand membership with the Greater Cleveland Realtist Association, you become a member of all three organizations. And the purpose, what we actually do is, as far as our organization, we promote the meaningful exchange of ideas about the real estate industry and how to best serve our clientele. We talk about professional growth, we talk about personal growth, and we also speak about how to serve our communities and the best way to do that with a lot of community service initiatives. So you might say, okay, so do you offer training? Now, the trainings that we are planning, especially for this year, consist of, we're looking to have a CE, a core CE in March, like mid-March. And this is through the just awesome, we have an awesome education chair, Sarah Miniman. And she worked so hard to come up with great CE classes. We come up with great professional development classes. Like just in the past few months, we had an awesome presentation by one of our members who spoke about the appraisal gap. We had another personal development class that had to do with what happens when title says no. When you have when you're in the middle of a transaction and when title comes back and says, we can't close this. We had two attorneys come in and explain what needs to be done from there. So that's just an example of what we do as far as professional development. And we have CE classes. We also have some signature events that we have throughout the year. In fact, this Thursday, we have an awesome event coming up. It's called the Millennial Mortgage Movement. It is a virtual panel discussion And it's from a lot of our Realtors professionals. And we have someone coming in from HUD who is going to speak about what is available to millennial home buyers, what kind of programs. We have someone in from US Bank who's going to talk about mortgage products. So there are a lot of things that we have planned coming up, like right now. And of course, we have our what we call Realtist Week. Realtist Week is in April. April is the first week of April will be a week of just celebrating all things Realtors. And what I can say is we're in the planning stages of that. But one of the events that I like to attend is called Meet in the Middle. And Meet in the Middle is where we have the presidents of the Akron Realtist Association, the Greater Cleveland Realtist Association, and the president of ACAR. We all come together at a spot. Usually we're trying to get Blue Canyon. That's why we call it Meet in the Middle, because we're trying to meet between Cleveland and Akron. And that's where we just come together and network. We talk about all our organizations and how we're going to collaborate in the coming months. So
I love that. If I could just interject for a second, Deborah, I'm a part of the Cleveland Realtist Association, and the consistency and really uniqueness and effectiveness of the training calendar is really impressive. I was having a conversation with a group of agents last week, and we were looking for ways to better align and really tap into what you all have from a calendar standpoint. I know I just got my email earlier or late last week about the Millennial mortgage event. So that looks really tremendous.
Okay, thank you. And another things we have coming up. Well, we're going to be attending the Midwinter Conference. So there always have to be conferences with the national organizations. We have our Midwinter Conference. It's going to be in San Antonio, Texas, the first week of March. And we have our grand celebration in August 1st through the 5th. And that's going to be our 75th National Convention. It's going to be held in Tampa, Florida. We're going back to where we started. So that's another event that we're actually looking forward to. Another thing that we also do locally, we have a Women in Business event that we have, usually later in the year. That's where we invite now not only real estate women, we invite women of all, in all types of businesses, and they come in and they, speak to the audience, and we just try to get people who we can see different aspects of the business world, and we just honor them because we have a special award that we honor during that. And let's see, we do Cleanup Turnup. Cleanup Turnup is one of our community service initiatives. That's when in the past we've gone to a neighborhood. We would do in the morning, we would do a cleanup of a certain neighborhood, and then in the afternoon we would have just a celebration for the neighborhood. And that's something that we've done in the past, but we're probably trying to turn that into something different. Our partnership is with PNC, so that might look different this year. So the one thing I just want to do is encourage everyone, if you're a member, please want to come, because we need all hands on deck to try to plan these events and pull them off. And if you're not a member and you want to become a member, please go to our website at www.clevelandrealtist.org. And that way you can learn about us, and you can just, at the very top, you can click join, and there will be an online membership application, and you can just join us that way. But feel free, you can always go to the website and you can ask any question that you might have about our organization, and just reach out. You can reach out to me or Monique. I'm sure we can include our contact information as well.
Yeah, please do, and we'll include it in our follow-up to the meeting. A couple other quick things for either one of you, but in the greater Cleveland area, how many realtors are there? How many individuals are members? How many brokerages have the brokerage level membership?
So I'll jump in and I'll tell you. So as Deborah mentioned, when you join the Cleveland Realtist, you also become a part of the Ohio Realtist. And I am first vice president for the state of Ohio, but you also become part of our national organization. So without getting into details, across the state of Ohio, we have 7 chapters. So just if you have agents across the state and they don't live in Cleveland, let them know we have a spot for them as well. We have 7 chapters across the state of Ohio. That's Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, Akron, Youngstown, and Toledo. And I am proud to say that Cleveland is the largest chapter. We were actually founded in 1948, which I always find interesting. Like 1 year after the organization, Cleveland was founded. So we are the largest chapter. Without getting in a breakdown, I will tell you we have close to 200 agents, and that's a combination of agents and brokers that are part of our organization. And it would probably be safe to say that we're probably the largest chapter and one of the most active chapters in states across the nation. So, you know, whenever you have a national organization, you always have states like California and Texas that have a gazillion chapters. But to have 7 chapters across the state of Ohio is really good. And neither Deborah or I mentioned, and we should slap ourselves, that the national president of the national organization is a part of the Cleveland Realtors. How in the world did we forget that? So it's a great, we get some perks because of that, of course. And what a great time to be part of the Cleveland Realtors. We have Madam Lydia Pope, who's the national president. We have our own, Secretary of HUD and Secretary Fudge, who's from Cleveland. So it's a really great time for Cleveland. So again, as Deborah mentioned, go onto the website, reach out to either one of us, and we will be glad to let you know how you can join. There is a rate that is slightly lower for agents whose brokers are a part of the Cleveland Realtors. So your agents will pay the fee for a broker participation cost. So that is a perk as well. And so, Michael, we thank you as well.
Yeah, listen, it's our pleasure to be involved and associated with an organization like yours, and feel that it's as much as, if not more so than any of the other professional associations in the area, very active and very dialed in on what matters to agents and their clients. And so really, really appreciate that. And as Monique said, we are a broker participant. So for those of you who are interested in learning more about it or being a part of the Cleveland Realtist Association, you will get that membership at a discounted rate. And then there is we're very fortunate that there is always something to do, and it's a great way to meet people. Certainly attended several of the events myself and have enjoyed it, and think that it's a great thing for us to get into further and deeper partnership around. So when it comes to, you talked a little bit about, you have an education chair. I'm seeing some people leaning in. So I think you've got a very engaged group today. But what are some of the other, so you have the education section. What are some of the other subsets in the Realtors? If I'm like, hey, I want to get involved. I said I was going to network. I'm new to the area, whatever it is that's going to draw me in to the Realtors. Where might I get plugged in?
Well, I'll speak to that. That's why I mentioned to join a committee. Mm-hmm. We have some awesome committees. Of course, there's membership, there's marketing, there's just special events. We have just so many. We have, and we didn't mention, we have what's called a Sheba committee. That's actually based on a report that is issued by the National Association of Real Estate Brokers every year. Sheba stands for the State of Housing in Black America. So we also have a committee that will speak on those issues and might speak about, we have a public affairs committee. So that's where we get kind of on we don't want to call it political, but that's where you might get into some kind of public policy type conversations. So we have quite a few committees that can use your help, because we are developing initiatives around with those committees. That is going to be their focus, and they will bring forth different things that we will talk about during our meetings, and probably things that come out, such as the Millennial mortgage movement. That comes from our Young Realtist division. And Young Realtist is not just young in age. The young realtors always want you to know that they are young. They are young in age, young in the National Association of Real Estate Brokers membership, and young at heart. So I'm going to be paying my membership to Young Realtors as well. So you don't have to be under a certain age to be a member of the Young Realtors division, and they have their own agenda and a set of things that they're going to be doing. So we have quite a few opportunities to for people when they join a committee, and you can get into anything that you have an interest in.
And when you join with when you become a member of the Cleveland Realtist, you can become a part of any of those committees that President Bonner mentioned. So again, I don't know if we mentioned it also, but we have a marketing committee. And I believe our chair might just be somebody that you all know on the marketing committee. So Doxy Jelks actually chairs our marketing committee. So she's always pretty busy because no matter when we're planning an event and when the notice is out, her team have to help get the word out and spread the word and educate that. So whether it's the marketing committee, the education committee, like Deborah mentioned, Sarah Minimum does a great job, but that's a committee. Whether it's the PAC committee, we even have a technology committee, which can always use members because I am not a tech guru. And Deborah Bonner and I are like, okay, where are these fresh young people that could help technology committee? So yeah, there are tons of committee. And once you join, you are able to join any of those committees, some of which have ties back to nationals and some which are local focused committees.
Excellent. Excellent. I love that. And Doxy Jelks is a fixture in our office, a huge supporter of Realtists, and is actually the one who, her and her business partner, Lisa, are the one who brought us into a closer relationship with you all just a few years ago. So we are thrilled to have her amongst our ranks and yours as well. Is there a link, a flyer, any other information around that Millennial Mortgage event? If you know, an agent or somebody on the call was saying, hey, you know, I want to check this out. I want to, poke my head in, see what this is all about before I sign up. Where would I go to find that? Or do you have a link you could drop into the chat? Or
let's see if I can do.
Yeah, one of us we just told you our technological challenges.
Hold on a minute. Let me go down.
Actually put the flyer in the chat. Yeah. So when we're done speaking, you may get two of it because we'll see which one of us can successfully upload it. But we will upload it to, I actually think we can do it. I'm going to upload the flyer to the chat so you can come. That's going to be a great event. It's called the Millennial Mortgage Movement. And one of the things as an organization is we're focused on is the fact there are across all demographics. This is not unique to Black millennials, but there are millions, literally millions of millennials who make over $100,000 a year who are not homeowners, who are not even factored real estate into their investment strategy, whether it's, to own the home or investment. So that's a really, really good event to join, especially if you are agents who have millennials as a part of your clientele. And our guest from HUD will talk to us about some of the initiatives, particularly around student loan debt, which continues to be a hurdle.
Yeah, that is a big one. For anybody who isn't watching the ticker every day, the millennials are the group with the largest buying power behind the boomers, right? And so this economic shift that's going to take place, or shift in wealth from boomers down over the course of the next 10 to 15 years, is going to be substantial, and understanding how to be in relationship and conversation and in support for that subset of the population is going to be really significant in propelling your business in the back half of the 2020s. Just one man's opinion, but I think that'll probably get the generational demographics will probably get covered in a pretty extensive way as a part of this event. So looking forward to it.
Okay.
All right, team. Well, it looks like we've got a file uploaded in the chat. So points to Monique on that for getting that.
Well,
done.
wait, let's just click and make sure you open it when it clicks, when you click
Let's
on
see
it.
here. Let's see here. It opened.
Yay! Okay,
Right, we did
thank
it.
you.
We did it, and it looks like Monique's moderating. All right. Well, it's going to be a fun time, guys.
Yes.
If you want to attend, you'll at least have one familiar face there with you.
I'll be.
And Deborah will as well. So wonderful, wonderful. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you for being a part of this sales meeting, of this conversation, and for a part of the success of real estate in Northeast Ohio. Very impactful, and look forward to extending and growing our partnership with your organization in the year to come.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
All right,
Enjoy
guys.
your week.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Have a wonderful
I'm
week.
going to another meeting. So.
Excellent.
Bye-bye.
All right, gang. So want to bring it home with just one more touching on one more piece of the conversation. So whether you are new to the organization or been here for a few years, you'll know that we have in the last couple of years we had come to the realization, whoops, sorry, almost kicked Deborah out. I was just trying to take her spotlight. Let's not do that. Come to the realization that as an organization, we are nearly a third. 1 out of every 3 agents in our office is an agent of color. And so we came together with a group of those back in early 2020 to have a conversation about, what are the things that we can do to support agents in that group and make sure that we're doing everything that we can to help them launch their career in the best way possible. And so a few of our really talented leaders, folks that it should sound like familiar faces, Doxy Jelks, who you just heard about, her partner Lisa Gaines, Jermaine Brooks, Carol Joyner, Satrina Young, Jim Ingram, Cliff Lewis. We came together, put our heads together, and said, how do we really want to do this? And one of the things that we arrived at as we looked at the year ahead for 2022 was really trying to expand partnership with the Cleveland Realtist Association. There's a great organization there. It's a professional operation. They have great resources, and so we look to expand our involvement in that organization. And then beyond that, ensure that we are doing things in a consistent way to connect agents to one another, regardless of race, but doing it in a way that creates a level of comfortability and connectivity for agents in that community. And so in the coming months, as we get into March, you're going to see some additional support of Cleveland Realtist Association events and some networking events for the Black Realtor Network. And know that this is, we are one of a few market centers in the Keller Williams ecosystem that is doing this. It's done at a very high level in the Atlanta market. And so as we get some footing here and we are more established, we'll look to expand this opportunity potentially to other market centers in our immediate Cleveland area. So a great opportunity for growth, a great opportunity for heightened involvement in the community and in the real estate industry. And so if you have any interest, if you're like, hey, this sounds good, or I've been a part of something that's similar, or I want to be involved, I want to help, I want to support, I just want to be there, please let me know as our goals start to take shape for what we want this to be and how we want it to deliver an impact on our agents and their communities. We'll need help, we'll need support, and we'll need it from you all as agents. So if you have any interest, you can contact me directly, and we will make certain that we get you in the loop on everything going forward. That's going to do it for today, gang. Just a heads up, we have Bold. If you're in Bold, you're there tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Thursday, the CE with Coco, our social media expert, and then Friday, the tax-based money matters mastermind. There is no sales meeting next week. We'll let you finish February strong. Use that time to go on another listing appointment. And then the taking property taxes down and taking your leads up is Wednesday, February 23rd. So do not miss it, guys. Look forward to seeing you all at all of those events.